Hi guys. I'll tell you my roommate rescued a dog. Pretty cool. I hope whoever's dog it is knows the dog's safe. I want to read Proverbs chapter 5. I'm just going to jump right on into it. Proverbs chapter 5. 1. My son, attend to my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. Okay, so the word is obviously telling us that we are its child, and it wants us to keep our ear to its understanding, and that we may regard it so that we may speak knowledge. Verse 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. I can agree with that. Verse 4, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell. Well, this is a pretty strange woman, isn't it? Her mouth is smoother than oil, and her end is bitter as wormwood, as sharp as a two-edged sword, and her feet go down to hell. Verse 6. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life. Her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy way far from her, and come nigh the door of her house. Okay, so it's telling us being the children that are being addressed, to beware of others with a mouth that is smooth as oil. And to be safe, we are to hear. To hear the one calling us children, to hear its word. Verse 9. Lest thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel, lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger, and thou mourn at the last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed. Verse 12. And say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. Okay, so now we understand that the words telling us what we should do is a teacher. Verse 14. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Drink water out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thy own well. Okay, so it's telling us to drink our own water and drink out of our own well. What this means is that everything comes out of everybody. We all bear different fruits. A corrupt tree is going to bring forth corrupt fruit. A righteous tree is going to bring forth righteous fruit. We remain righteous through the belief and instruction, and to follow that instruction through Jesus Christ. Okay, we're going to reread verse 15. Drink waters out of thy own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thy own, and not strangers with thee. Okay, so let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. So we understand that what we surround ourselves with could attach itself to us. As we understand that the strangers with thee. Okay, so we're walking down the street. We're supposed to let the waters that we have disperse abroad from us, that we understand from our teacher. Let those waters be dispersed abroad, and not the strangers that we learn of and we learn from. Hence, TV, music, the words of the world is what it's underlining there. 18. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of youth, thy youth. Okay, who blesses? God blesses. How do you get blessed? You do his commandments. 19. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? It's asking, why would you even do such a thing as to not listen to the teacher and to go forth and let others know about the teacher, to be dispersed abroad, letting the waters run in the street? It's asking you why. It's asking you to contemplate why you would not even listen to the teachings of sound wisdom. 21. For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. 22. And his own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins, and he shall die without instruction. In the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. So when his folly reaches greatness, he will go astray, and he will die in his sins. We understand that sins is the disobeying of the commandments of God. We realize this in early Genesis chapter 3, I believe is where it's at, is where Adam and Eve fell. Enjoy Proverbs 5, guys.